húngaro Tibor Kalman foi um dos papas do graphic design. Olha só o currículo dele. Trabalhou para Art Forum, Interview, fez capas do grupo Talking Heads e foi um dos criadores da polêmica e provocativa Colors Magazine, que é patrocinada pela Benetton. O New York Times diz que ele era obscuro e vanguardista, mas o seu trabalho está em todos os lugares. Foi diagnosticado com câncer em 1994 e faleceu no dia 2 de maio desse ano, deixando um legado absolutamente fantástico. A gente tem uma entrevista recente com ele, que aconteceu em New York City, onde ele fala do seu trabalho e muito do livro que ele lançou, que se chama Perverse Optimism, que é uma retrospectiva de tudo que ele fez e da sua empresa, que se chama M&Co, uma das mais poderosas em graphic design no mundo. Tenho certeza que vocês vão adorar essa entrevista e esse trabalho, que realmente é muito powerful. Tibor Kalman, aqui no GNT Fashion.
Images to me are much more powerful than words. It's also probably because I can't write worth anything. I'm the worst writer in the world.
I think that Tibor's work is, despite him calling it ugly, I think it's quite beautiful. And I think that it has a lot of, it's literate and narrative and full of madness, and he's very courageous. I see his work as always going forward and responding to the time that we're in.
I've been involved in millions of different kinds of projects. So M & Company, as it began to, as soon as it made some money, I got sick of money. As soon as it did some boring design jobs, I got sick of boring design jobs. So I tried to pursue more difficult design jobs and much bigger money. What I wanted Colors to be was to be a magazine for young people around the world that would not be about products or celebrities, but that would figure out a way to tell stories that were understandable and image-driven and understandable in many, many different languages. I just wanted something that would speak to all those people, and kind of, because I always felt that those people had more in common than is allowed. I mean, the only medium that they have in common is MTV, and MTV, unfortunately, is totally free of any ideas. I felt that the content of the magazine thematically should be, what are the ways in which people around the world are alike, and what are the ways in which they're different? And the intersection of those two ideas is where I wanted Colors to live. And I just believed that it was possible to create content that would be relevant to people around the world. To be honest with you, it's much easier to be ethical when you're successful than when you're not. At the beginning of M & Company, we were sleazeballs. I mean, we're businessmen. And I think graphic designers very often kind of paint themselves as being holier than thou, kind of artsy and artistic. But in fact, if they're working for corporations, all they're doing is lying for a living. I think what we're talking about here is substitution of style for content. I think that we are probably living in the worst cultural and artistic period of the century, and it's only going downhill. And I know that my book is called Perverse Optimist, but on this subject I'm extremely critical of the United States and the dollar having caused all these things, because I think that the difference between culture, the evolving difference between the culture that we used to have and the culture that we're going to have is corporations. The more that corporations control our culture, the less it can be called culture, the less it can be culture. Essentially, American culture has become criminal. It has become thievery. It has become a way of getting a lot of people to take $5, $10, $100 out of their pockets and give it to a corporation. And the corporation's stock goes up, and the corporation only measures itself by the value of its stock. It doesn't measure itself by the value of its humanity, or its contribution to the future, or its environmental, or its cultural force. It measures itself only by the dollar. Everyone that works for me could tomorrow walk out of here and get 3 times their salary, including myself. But we're trying to figure something out here. The best thing we can do is just put the word out, and to put designers and editors and people who make culture into embarrassing positions, if we possibly can, and make them think about what they're doing. That's the best we can do for now.